Hey guys, it's Krystal. Welcome back. So I have a review for you and it's on the new CoverGirl. This is the Ready Set Gorgeous Powder Foundation. So I recently did a haul video with a bunch of new CoverGirl products. In that video I did not mention this, so if you did see that, then you know that I didn't mention this. But if you didn't, I will link the video down below so you can see what other products I picked up from CoverGirl that are new. But I picked this up a couple days after that video just because I was a little bit intrigued by it. So this is, again, the Ready Set Gorgeous Fresh Complexion Powder Foundation. It's oil-free and it says Shine Control. It's the lightest shade. It's in Fair, which is 105-110. This is the packaging of it. And I picked mine up at Walgreens. They have a whole new display at all the Walgreens in my area. And if you haven't seen these yet, don't worry. They are permanent and they will be in stores eventually. So they kind of have just merged their way into Walgreens, but I haven't seen them anywhere else yet. So I picked mine up for $6.99, but it was on sale with my Walgreens Beauty Club card. So originally it was $8.99. So they're going to be in the price range around $8.99 or so, just depending where you buy them. But this says a powder foundation covers like a liquid makeup to help even skin tone for a natural look. Extra fine oil absorbing powders control shine. It's oil free and it won't clog pores. That's pretty much all it says about this product. You get 10.5 grams in here, and this is what the compact looks like. So I like that it's white and it has the pink writing on it. So I guess Katy Perry is the new spokesmodel for this new collection by CoverGirl, the Ready Set Gorgeous collection, or line. I shouldn't say collection because it's not limited edition. I should say line. So she was on the cover. I love Katy Perry. I love her voice. I think she's beautiful. I've had somebody tell me once that they didn't think she was pretty at all. She was just average, and I was like, what? You are crazy. She is gorgeous. Gorgeous. I think she's absolutely gorgeous. So anyways, so yeah, this is the compact that it comes in. I like the white. I like the pink writing. So inside, you do get a mirror, and this is the powder. You get a little sponge applicator, and I'm going to show you guys my demo, and then I will be back to tell you a little bit more about it after that. Alright, before I get started, I do want to apply a primer to my face. As you can see, I have lots of hyperpigmentation. My face is a lot darker than my neck, so when I buy a foundation, I obviously have to get something that matches the rest of my body, so I usually go for a really light shade. First, I'm going to apply my Benefit Porefessional primer. I'm going to put this on my face to minimize my pores and just smooth out the texture of my skin. So I already have on moisturizer. I have on my argan oil by Acure. Talked about it a few times. I do want to apply concealer, and I'm going to apply the Ready Set Gorgeous Concealer by CoverGirl. It is this one right here. So it's oil free, and I got mine in the shade 105-110. It's the lightest shade. It's in Fair, and it says oil free, won't clog pores, dermatologically tested. It helps conceal dark circles and imperfections in an instant. The lightweight formula glides on smoothly, blends easily, and lasts all day. So I do have two shades of this, but I'm using the lightest shade. I haven't opened the darker one yet. So I'm just going to apply this under my eyes. I don't have dark circles at all, so I don't need a whole lot of coverage when it comes to concealer. And to blend that out, I'm going to use the Sephora Pro Airbrush Concealer Brush. I showed this in my Sephora VIB haul, I believe, and I've been using this out, testing it out, see if I like it. And I do really love this. It's really extremely soft, blends really nicely. So alright, so there's the concealer. It doesn't give a whole lot of coverage. It's a very, very lightweight coverage like it says. So if you have dark circles or lots of imperfections, I don't think this would be the right concealer for you, just because it is lightweight. Now I don't have dark circles, so a light concealer under my eyes works fine for me because I don't need a whole lot of coverage, and I don't really use concealer on the face too much for imperfections. I don't know, I just don't like to. I just like to use it under my eyes to brighten. So this does help brighten under the eye for me. And I like it that it's not too heavy because for me, I'm not in my 20s anymore, so when I use like a heavier concealer under the eyes, it does tend to accentuate all my fine lines under the eyes, and I don't like that. So something more lightweight is ideal for me. So it just depends on your skin. Because when it's heavy, it just tends to settle in all those fine lines and just accentuates them, so. And I'm just going to use this a little bit to highlight with, because we're going to use a powder foundation, so we definitely want to put on any cream products before we put on powder. So I'm just going to highlight my face with this concealer. So now I'm going to apply the powder foundation, but I want to talk a little bit about the product inside. So in here you do get a sponge tip applicator, and I like these type of sponge tip applicators because they're washable and reusable. So this is what it looks like. This is the type of sponge tip applicator you could use with liquid foundation. You could also use it with a powder or powder foundation. And I like these because they are washable and reusable, but I don't like this one because it's so tiny that I just feel like it doesn't cover very much surface area. It's just not ideal for applying the product, in my opinion. So that's too small, so I won't even bother using that. And then right here, the powder is a little bit small as well. It's gonna be hard to fit like a bigger brush in there. This one fits in there okay, but if you use like more of a fluffy brush, like if you want to use this more of a setting powder than a powder foundation, then it might be difficult to get your brush in there. So that's a little bit of a gripe for me, but other than that, it's fine. I can work with it. So the brush that I'm going to use for applying the powder foundation is the Bare Minerals Precision Face Brush, and I love this brush for all powder foundations. It's just my favorite brush to apply. It's like an angled flat top kabuki brush, and I'm sure Sigma has something similar to this. I don't own the one like this from Sigma, but I think they do have one that's just like this. So this one's from Bare Minerals. I bought it a really long time ago when they first came out with their powder foundations, and I bought it specifically for that. And I also like using it with my other powder foundation. So that's the brush I'll be using. This type of brush, because it's flat and dense, it will give you the most coverage with the powder foundation. If you use something more fluffy, you're gonna get less coverage. So ideally for me, this is the kind of brush I like because I want to build the coverage up with a powder foundation, because I generally like to use liquid foundations more because they have more coverage than powder. But to get the most coverage out of a powder foundation, this is the kind of brush I like. So get some product on the brush, and I'll start with this side of my face. Now the thing with powder foundations is they can be kind of messy because the powder kind of flies all over the place. Like I feel like it's getting all over my shirt and all over my vanity desk. All right. So that is the powder foundation on one side of my face. So I think it looks really nice. I like the way it looks. It gives okay coverage. I wouldn't say it's full coverage. I would say it's probably a light to medium coverage. And I think the color is okay. It's not too bad. I feel like it looks a little bit darker on camera than it does on my face, but I'm not sure how that's picking up. All right, so let's go ahead and do the other side. I don't know if you guys can see the powder kind of flying all over the place. that is what it looks like. And I definitely feel like it looks darker on camera than it does on my face. I'm just going to show you the sponge, how it would apply the product. So I'm just going to get a little bit on there. Just going to touch at my nose. And I feel like you get much more product applied when you use this type of sponge. But again, this one's just so tiny, it just wouldn't, it's okay for small areas like my nose, but like to put all over my face is not ideal. All right. All right, so that is what that looks like. I am gonna finish the rest of my makeup and then I will be back. All right, so I now have my whole face on. I've ran errands. I've worn this foundation, powder foundation, for like 5 hours, maybe 5.5 hours, maybe even 6 hours, I can't remember. But I've had it on for quite some time. I feel like it still looks really good on my skin. It hasn't really broken through and looked oily yet. I like that it looks like my skin, but better because it does kind of even out my skin tone. I do have hyperpigmentation, if you guys could tell before I applied it. So the coverage of this is light to medium. It's not buildable to full, I don't feel. I've applied it with the brush that I like for powder foundations, and I went over it 2 times, and I feel like I built it up as much as I could. So I definitely feel like it went up to medium coverage, but not full. So if you're somebody who has a lot of hyperpigmentation, or you have a lot of blemishes or imperfections, I don't feel like this is gonna cover them that well. You will still see them peeping through. So if you like a full coverage, this probably won't be for you. And if you have really, really oily skin, it might not be for you either. I've worn this before, and at the end of the day, I did feel a little bit oily in my T-zone. But right now my skin is kind of in between. It's not really dry anymore. It was really, really dry, but it's not really dry anymore. It is kind of working its way to be oily again. It's probably the weather change because it's very hot here in Arizona. It was like 100 degrees yesterday. I was like, ugh. So I don't think it would be really great for people with really oily skin because I don't feel like it would be that long lasting. Now, if you have really dry skin, it might be a good product. I'm not really sure. I can't comment on that because my skin isn't that dry anymore. So I feel like the finish of it is kind of like a satin finish. It doesn't look extremely powdery once it kind of settles into your skin a little bit. I feel like it looks satin. It's not too matte, and it's obviously not dewy because it's a powder foundation. And I feel like this color in particular is kind of dark for a fair shade. So this one's in fair, and when I look at it in the pan, I feel like it looks kind of dark. But then when I started to apply it, it wasn't that dark. Like, it kind of seemed lighter than when it looks like in the pan. But then after I had it all on, and after letting it sit for like 5 minutes, I felt like it did look darker than my neck and the rest of my body. Like right now I can totally tell that it's different than the rest of my body. I don't know how that will translate on camera. But so like I said, I've been wearing it for like 5 hours now, and it has definitely oxidized a little bit. I was in the car on my way home, and I looked in the mirror, and I was just kind of looking to see if it had oxidized, and it definitely, in the natural light where you can see the best, it definitely looked like it was kind of a little bit orangey and a lot darker than my neck and the rest of my body. So I'm not really happy about that, especially because this is the lightest shade of the powder. So I'm wearing it all alone today, but you could also use this as a setting powder. Now I use this over the Ready Set Gorgeous foundation that just came out as well. I used it over that, and I felt like for me it was too much. The foundation mixed with this powder foundation, I just felt like it looked like I had cake face, or I just looked like I had a lot of makeup on, and I didn't like the way that looked. So for me personally, I don't like to put this over a powder foundation. Now, if you do that, I would recommend using a really fluffy brush and lightly dabbing your brush into the powder and then lightly dusting it on your face, because you don't want to put too much because it will build up and it just looks too much like you have makeup on. So overall, I did like it. I like the finish of it. I like the texture of it. It has lasted pretty long on me, but a little bit of oil will pop through by the end of the day because I have tried it out before. But just because it oxidized on me and it's the lightest shade and I can't go buy something lighter, then I don't know, I might take this back because I don't feel like I would really use it too much just because it does oxidize. Now, if I was more tan, like if I started using self-tanner, I think I could make it work. But I don't know if I plan on doing any self-tanner anytime soon. Self-tanning is a pain in the butt. So I just don't like it. I try to do it sometimes and then I just don't keep up with it because I don't enjoy it. So I'm probably gonna take this back just because of the oxidation.
Really?
So I'm probably gonna take this back because of the oxidizing factor. Doesn't work for me. I don't like that part of it. And I don't know. I think it's nice other than that, but it's not my favorite powder in the whole world. Not my favorite powder foundation. But I think it looks nice. It just definitely looks too dark for me. So if you guys have any other questions, just leave them down below. I will get back to you as soon as I can. And if any of you guys have tried this product and you have thoughts about it, please leave your comments down below. We would love to know your thoughts. Not only I would love to know them, but I'm sure people watching this video would love to know. They would like to get more than one opinion. So thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye!